Good morning.
Where are you, Laszlo?
At the Rim Rock right now.
Ooh, okay.
Making sure I don't wake up Andrea.
Oh, very good. Okay, we'll try not to be too loud.
Yeah, don't be so loud.
Okay, thank you. Welcome to Rotary.
Mark.
Yes, ma'am.
Mark,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
have a bit of a problem with my internet connection this morning, so I'll forward Connie's presentation just in case she can't pull it up.
Perfect. Thank you.
I'll forward it to you.
Okay.
I can't open it for some reason, so.
We may have to go with hand puppets.
We have to be quiet so we don't wake Andrea up. Good morning, Ed.
If she's in bed beside Laz, does that still consider as a guest?
It is, yes.
Yeah.
We'll have to introduce her.
Yeah, exactly. Let's get turn the camera on and show her while she's sleeping.
Creepy Rotary. Ed, welcome to your first meeting as an official member. Nice to see you.
Good. Hey, there you go.
Thank you, Mark.
Yes.
It's a privilege to be here.
Well, it's a privilege to have you. There's Charlene and Mr. Webster. And there's Connie. Welcome, Connie. I'm hoping that wasn't a toilet.
Does that mean Andrea's awake?
Oh, okay, I better mute my,
Oh, well.
thing. That's my husband.
We're a really classy bunch. Mm-hmm. And Alan has joined us. Good morning, Alan. Oh, something I said. Oh, there we go.
Laszlo and his view.
Oh,
Beautiful.
nice. Good for you. Did you say that was the Rim Rock, Laz?
The Rim
Yeah,
Rock.
the Rim Rock.
Nice.
We're heading out to Kelowna today.
Well deserved. Nicely done.
How long are you in Kelowna?
He's trying to be covert.
Running away from it?
You lost him.
Oh, hopefully he didn't jump.
Mark.
Oh.
Mark.
Hello.
Hi. I just want to let you know about as for the dynamics. We're not in the old dynamic gymnastics. We're in the new building of the new gym.
Oh, good.
So
Good
you
to
know.
hear. Thank you.
So that's not going to happen till like November 1st.
Okay.
But still, I don't know when I'm coming back. So I'm not coming in this year, maybe next year. I don't know when I'm coming back.
Okay.
So yeah,
Well,
just letting you know.
thank you very much. No worries. We will still have a Zoom component of our meetings, so you
Okay.
can still join from home.
Okay.
Thank you.
Just want to let you know about the new dynamics
Very good.
from
That's
the new
exciting
gym.
news.
So yeah.
And there's Jackie. Good morning, Jackie. And Alan is settled in. Good to see you. And Kevin. And we have Kathy in the bunker. Is that the bunker that's underneath City Hall that you're in?
Well, she's trying to work that out. Jackie Hansen, how long did it take to land that fish?
I know, that's pretty amazing.
Oh my goodness, the experience of a lifetime. It probably took us, 45 minutes, but you don't actually land it. You bring it into a cradle beside the boat where they keep it cool and wet.
Yeah.
And then you moor up to the side of the Fraser River and you jump out. And because you're not allowed to take anything over 5 feet out of the water.
Yeah.
So then we just all jumped in and held it, and we measured it and we scanned it and flipped it over and rubbed its belly, and yeah, and then eventually we let it go. And it was, I recommend it, even if you don't want to hold a rod.
Was it a steelhead?
Oh, it was a sturgeon. It was a sturgeon. So it was
Oh,
7.5 feet long, 240 pounds. And yeah, no, our whole family went as a retirement gift to my husband, and the kids actually gave it to him. So there were about 13 of us, 3 different boats went out, and we had just had a ball.
Nice. Yeah, it looked like fun.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? It was about $850 for the boat, but you divvy that up between 4 or 5 people.
Oh, yeah.
So that's from 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock all day long. Really fun.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of really fun, we're going to start this here meeting. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to your morning meeting number 1476 on September 11th. I'm your host president, Mark Dixon. Shout out to the board members that are present, fellow Rotarians, guests. Please stand for the singing of O Canada.
you guys. And free from far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard. Keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard. Oh, thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard. What happened to their music? I don't know. That would be Mark's sound.
That would definitely be Mark's sound. So, Jackie, inspirational moment, if you would, please.
Thank you, Mark. Well, today is September 11th, a day that each and every one of us will never forget. We all know where we were when we heard that first plane go through the tower. It was devastating. It's etched into our memories. This was a day where we watched in horror lives being lost, families torn apart, heartache and tragedy, and the impact is still felt today. All of it brought on by the power of hate. Everything as we know has changed. There was a lot of anger and grief and chaos, but through the midst of it all were those who quietly picked up the pieces. One quote that I saw as I was preparing for this today was, "And so we were forever changed. That day we watched unspeakable acts of evil unfold, but we also witnessed incredible courage, outpourings of human kindness, fierce solidarity, and that is what we will be remembered for, along with the thousands of innocent souls who perished that day." And so, yes, thousands of lives were lost on September 11th. And today we're in another kind of fight. Around the world, over almost 1 million people have lost their lives to one virus. And like in 9/11, there has been heartache for hundreds of thousands of people, job loss, suffering, devastation. But I hope that what will be remembered is the solidarity and unity and help. The average people coming together to help each other in all different kinds of communities. Our friends, our neighbors, family members, teachers, first responders, all the same people who came together in the aftermath of September 11th. People like Rotarians. Today, my inspiration comes from the people in our community who continue to provide a sense of pride and community when it really matters.
Very good.
Thank you very much, Jackie. Introduction of guests. Who do we have here this morning? Well, I see Maddie right there. Our international connection. Daria, go ahead.
I was just gonna say we have Connie with us this morning, our presenter. I will introduce her later, but morning, Connie. Thank you for joining us.
Very good. Welcome, Connie. Who else do we have? I was going to introduce Ed, but we don't have to introduce Ed anymore. Welcome, Ed. Natalia's here. Do we have anybody in Socrates there? Any guests?
I see 2 little ones under David Dooley.
Oh,
Welcome.
the dueling Dooleans?
Yeah, so we have Tatiana and Amaz keen to watch before they go to school.
Good luck with school. Thank you for joining us. We covered off everybody. I think we have. Let's go back to here. And join me in the welcome song. Welcome to Rotary, glad you are here. Come shake our hands and share a friendly cheer. Whether from near or whether from far, we're glad you're here. Hope that you feel like I let the song
Because we proud to sit down, but
you'll
we agree.
love and
Love
joy.
and joy, some great camaraderie. So where do we help with our community, with our friends at Rotary?
With our friends at
Rotary.
Outstanding. Little shout out to my brother for singing that song. Woo. And without further ado, Daria, would you please introduce our guest speaker this morning?
Yes, thank you. So I have a pleasure of introducing Connie that many of you will know. She's one of my favorite people at the city, and if somebody knows St. Albert, it's Connie. So she's a manager with community services for family and community support services. She's been with the city for 24 years, and she's a proud mom of a wonderful son who is pursuing a career as a fireman. and she has COVID to thank for that. So Connie, thank you very much for being with us this morning, bright and early.
Thank you, Daria, and thank you for allowing me to come and present this morning. And Daria, I'm going to ask you to put my presentation up because I think with my technical difficulties at my end, I might lose everybody. Do you mind?
Yeah, no, not at all. I think it's going to work. It didn't work this morning, but can everybody see that?
Yep.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. You just
Can
let me
everybody,
know when you want me to
sorry?
advance slides.
Can everybody hear me okay?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Good, great. So again, good morning, and thank you so much for this opportunity to speak with you this morning. So Daria, go ahead and change slides. So to begin, I'd like to speak quickly about how society responds emotionally to disasters, and further, how the COVID pandemic emotional response is different, so I can provide a context in how we support our community. When you hear the word disaster, is this what you imagine? On North America's western edge, an earthquake caused the seabed to drop and rebound within minutes. The shift beneath the ocean displaced an enormous quantity of seawater that surged upward into a massive hill of water and then collapsed. That phenomenon caused a 1,200-kilometer liquid wall to reach the west coast about 15 minutes after the earthquake began. By the time the shaking ceased and the tsunami receded, the region was unrecognizable. How about a disaster story that starts: a man in a Hong Kong elevator sneezes as a woman is checking out the hotel, and soon after her return from a business trip to Hong Kong, she dies from what seems to be flu-like symptoms. Both stories are disasters. In one, lives and livelihoods are ruined, homes and infrastructure smashed. In the second, health symptoms are overwhelmed, people get sick and die, the economy collapses. Understanding the phases of disaster allows people, communities, and organizations to prepare for and respond to disasters in an informed way. Making the right decisions during each phase gives you the best chances of survival and recovery. So in this diagram that you're seeing, it shows you the emotional responses to a disaster. And there's 6 of them. So there's pre-disaster, then impact, heroic phase, honeymoon, disillusionment, and recovery. And these are the emotional phases that we've seen in many, many disasters: the Slave Lake fires, the Fort McMurray fires, the Calgary floods. But unlike most disasters, which are typically geographically contained, COVID has impacted everyone, regardless if they or their loved one has become ill. So Daria, if you could change slides, please. In this diagram, the progression of the phases of disaster response when applied to COVID will look like nothing like the ones in Figure 1. The phases are overlapping and concurrent with extended timelines. In a typical disaster, the phases are looked at in terms of months, whereas in a COVID environment, these phases could last for years and even decades. The reality is that the world, governments, institutions, civil society, for-profit and non-profit organizations will never look the same after COVID. The biggest challenge right now isn't uncertainty, but ambiguity, a condition in which the future is unclear, the past is no help, and we don't even know what we don't know. Next slide. So on this slide, it talks to the social impacts of the pandemic and the themes. And these are themes that you'll see that are socially impacting the world and St. Albert. So this is very specific to St. Albert as well. So for example, mental health and addictions, what we're seeing in St. Albert and the world are increased alcohol and drug use, anxiety, depression, grief, loss, At the distress line, the top issue is mental health. The Kids Help Phone is seeing a 50% increase in text. Increased visitage in the ER because of opioid. There's a 1% increase in unemployment. There's a 2.8% increase in the province suicide rate. In the theme social isolation, can negatively affect mental health as well as physical health. Social isolation and loneliness are associated with depression, cognitive decline, poor sleep quality, a weak immune system, and potential heart problems. The distress line reported the third highest issue was loneliness. In domestic violence, there's an increased risk of intimate partner violence, child and elder abuse. 42% increase in calls to the provincial sexual violence line in the first 2 months of COVID. 8% of Canadians concerned about the possibility of violence in the home. 80% of domestic violence victims across support and connection from informal sources, which is concerning because the people that they're going to don't have the training and background to support them. And the domestic violence is the second highest distress line issue. For gender equality, women are disproportionately represented in the healthcare and service sector workforces. They're their primary caregivers to children, elderly, and the ill. Typically, they're lower wage earners and part-time. And our LGBTQ population is disconnected from their support systems, and there's a spike in racist incidents. Financially, instability is widespread. Job loss or reduction in hours. 29% of Canadians report pandemic has affected their ability to meet their financial obligations and essential needs. The food bank usage, as you all know, has gone up throughout the province. Then now, if you go back to just in June, the first recipients of CERB would have reached their monthly limits. Thankfully, CERB has continually been extended. Marginalized populations suffer the greatest financial impacts. So to our social profits, community impacts, higher demand for more vulnerable people. Operational impacts, there's future of some organizations are at risk, as we all know. The support service capacity impacts, concerns about meeting increased service demands. And for funding impacts, fundraising, government grants, we don't know if they'll be available in the future. So we need to reevaluate priorities. Disasters and emergencies typically cause people to reevaluate what is most important to them. Disruption to usual routines of school, work, and leisure. Physical distancing has slowed down the pace of family and individual activities that equates to less consumerism. 4.7 million Canadians worked from home just in March. For the 211 helpline, the top unmet need was basic income maintenance, the need for office equipment, supplies, and household goods. Domestic violence, as I spoke to earlier, people are going after their informal supports, friends, family, neighbors, and coworkers. And again, that causes great concern because they don't have the background to support them. 1 in 3 Albertans will experience domestic violence. Disparities in education, kids in poverty were already 4 grades below prior to COVID. It is anticipated that that gap will get bigger the longer school is out, and we don't know what the future of school will be. Again, food security is one of the biggest issues moving forward, especially as our emergency benefits disappear. I think this fall we're really going to see some horrible times. There's discussions with the government of Alberta about shifting funding to charities and the focus on food insecurity. Food does not solve problems, it helps in the short term. What's required is long-term prevention-based supports and services to enact change in residents. Reevaluation of priorities may include people are only interested in returning to work part-time or working from home. It also includes reevaluation of priorities for social profits, orders of government. A recent study underscored the severity of those risks. Half of the Chinese healthcare workers studied who treated COVID-19 patients earlier this year and now suffer from depression. Nearly as many, 44.6%, have anxiety and a third have insomnia. We don't know what's yet to come, but we do know there's going to be some really difficult times in the future, in the near future. Next slide. So in March, when COVID hit and I went into the EOC, one of the things our department did, and I'm so proud of them for doing this, was reached out to our social not-for-profits in St. Albert. And so since March, every month we meet with them, and it's an opportunity for us to understand how COVID has affected them, and are there ways that we can come together and work together to try to keep moving forward. So I just wanted to go through the ones that you see there. Primarily, we did reach out to many, and we didn't get a response from some because of many factors, but those that you see on the screen are the ones that we spoke to every month. And so I'll just give you a bit of a breakdown of what's been going on or what their greatest needs are. So for the Seniors Association, food security is their most common request. They're also getting requests for housing, transportation, financial benefits, and the need for support for elder abuse. With the Family Resource Center, there's an increased demand for parent coaches to support financial stress, to help navigating schoolwork and social isolation. St. Albert Safe Society, increased elder abuse calls, the need for housing, the need for programming space. If you don't know, they have moved spaces and they don't have room now to do the programming that they need to do. Funding for the elder abuse coordinator ends at the end of this year, so there's no funding in place starting in January, which again is very concerning. Elder abuse calls are 4 times higher than previous years. Unique calls to SAFE: in March, 59, in April, 100, in May, 76, in June, 101, and in July, 90. The Community Village and Food Bank: in March, as many of you know, 411 hampers for 1,230 individuals went out. That was a 36-year high. The outreach supports are seeing an increase in domestic violence. STAR literacy requires classroom space to allow for social distancing. Further ed requires financial support due to the loss of fundraising opportunities. Victim services lost their training budget for volunteers. Out Loud hasn't been able to meet. Youth are isolated. They're not able to join virtual platforms in their homes because it would put them at great risk. St. Albert Mentoring has been getting requests for support with school supplies as a result of job loss, and weekly asks for groceries, which is really concerning. That's quite new for the St. Albert Mentoring Program. Additional costs to the nonprofits that they require are for PPE to get their doors open. As you know, they have a huge lack of fundraising opportunities. One of the things that we recently did, we were able to apply for a grant. The city applied for a grant through the Edmonton Community Foundation. One of the things that we heard was for our not-for-profits and our small businesses, a lot of them didn't have the financial benefits to allow for their staff to get counseling. So we applied for a grant and we were successful in getting $10,000. And so those staff can access that money for crisis counseling, which is a beautiful thing, much needed. For FCSS, for our counseling program, March and April of 2019 versus March and April of 2020, we've seen a 30% increase in counseling sessions. We are doing video counseling. 52% of the calls are anxiety related to COVID. 36% are financial support for rent, housing, and mortgage. And the counseling themes that we're seeing are with respect to meth and addictions. Clients are getting frustrated with virtual counseling, which is making it difficult to keep them engaged. There's an increase in anxiety, request for support for jobs, financial and housing needs. And families that are in the process of separation are having to stay in their homes because there's nowhere to go, which is concerning. Next slide. So as I spoke again about our social profits in St. Albert, the impact is the need for increased demand for services. They have to adapt their programs and methods and procedures of how they do that. They have a reduced ability to hold traditional fundraising events. There's potential reduction in available government grants, a loss of volunteers, as many of the volunteers were seniors, and of course they're at a higher risk, changing technology requirements, and mental health supports for their staff. So what we need is a community approach to support our social nonprofits. As previously mentioned, across the board, there's a need for capacity building, which includes help with technology, grant writing, volunteer recruitment, board governance, mental wellness support for staff, costs associated with PPE supplies, which for some is prohibitive. Further, agencies need to update policies and find double the space they needed prior to COVID in order to continue with programming. So to end, I just wanted to share a story, and it's a situation that we're dealing with in our office right now. One of my staff's been working with a youth about to go into high school. He's immunocompromised, sorry, struggle with that word. And so has had to be really careful since COVID started happening. For the most part, he was only able to see one close friend who has also been very careful. As the summer progressed, he was able to see more people as everyone got used to social distancing. However, with school starting again, he's forced to go back into a state of isolation as a result of his friends being around so many other people. His family doesn't feel like it's safe for him. This story is a helpful reminder that although things are starting to be more normal for some, that's not true for all, and that in St. Albert, we need to find a way to support those who would otherwise fall through the cracks. The more society opens up, the more some people will be forced to isolate for their safety. There have been many, many successful stories and many, many sad stories. As a community, we have to band together to break down barriers and find ways to get the support and security to our residents in which every manner it may take. Thank you again. I welcome any questions.
Thank you so much, Connie. Just want to say that we really, really appreciate the work that you and your staff do to support our community. It's valued, and we value you, and we appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you.
Questions for Connie?
I'd ask one.
Yeah, Jackie, go ahead.
Hi, Connie. Good morning.
Hi.
Can you speak to the help that our social profits and city and FCSS programs are getting helped by the provincial and federal governments through grants? I'm going to assume it's changing.
Yeah, and so that's one of the unknowns that we don't know. So I know that Jackie, you're aware and others may not, but this spring when COVID hit, the provincial government put out some funding and actually streamed it through SCSS to dole out to the community. And what they did was they changed the way that the FCSS money is given out. And so for those that don't know, it's prevention based for services. It's not ever to be used for food, but they changed the rules because of course food insecurity in March and April and May was such an enormous issue. So as I said previously in the presentation, that's one of the things that the government of Alberta is looking at in the future, changing potentially the money that goes out and who can apply for it. And again, that's a bit concerning for us because food is absolutely needed in the immediate, but it's not a long-term solution. And so we're waiting to hear. I know they're reviewing that right now, and we will know in the coming months what that funding stream will look like and the availability of that. So we don't know, but we do know it's being reviewed.
We do know it's being reviewed, and we do know that grants in general for everything are less. There isn't the money to go around for culture, for recreation, for social profit programs. So it is getting sort of, the communities are getting asked to step up to fill these gaps.
Yeah. So if I could just add to that, again, that grant that I spoke about through the Edmonton Community Foundation, the ability to apply for funds to do a community response, I think that's our way to do it, as opposed to little tiny pockets of money to a small organization. If we can do community response funding, we can do more with that and help our agencies more. And other things that we're trying to do to support our not-for-profits is to help them write policies or update their policies. In community services, we hired about a year ago, a lady that just supports us with grants. And so we've opened up her to be able to work with our not-for-profits. So again, I think as we know, it's such unprecedented times. So I think the more we band together, the more we're going to be able to do.
I have a
Connie,
question, if I could, Connie. When you're dealing with all of your agencies, do you see, or are you able to identify overlaps where one agency may be getting more funding because they're writing more letters or doing this or that and the other thing? And I'm wondering if there's a way that you look at it to try to make sure that everybody gets a little bit of whatever the pot is, or even if that's possible.
Yeah, and I certainly, thank you, Anita. I can certainly speak from the City of St. Albert's perspective on that. We have a few grants through the city that will be going out in the fall. And that's exactly what we try to do, is ensure there's no overlap or duplication and try to share the pot the best way that we can. One of the things that's new to FCSS grant funding this year, we haven't done in the 24 years I've been at the city, is actually open it up to the community. Historically, it's been the same 5 or 6 or 7 organizations that have received the funding. So again, we've opened up that to the community to ensure that we can get that pot to as many people as possible.
Connie, it seems to me that we're probably going to be more in danger as time goes on, because first of all, people are starting to relax. And secondly, then, especially for seniors and that, such as a few people in this club that I know of, what comments do you have on that, and what suggestions do you have that we should be doing?
Well, I think what we're seeing is, if you go back to that earlier diagram, the second diagram, when it talks about the phases, I think we need to keep in mind that exactly that diagram, because as I had said, the phases of emotional disaster, which most disasters, Fort McMurray and Calgary and all the other ones, we could predict what was going to happen in the future. There's no way to predict COVID, because we've been through the honeymoon and through the frustration and through all those phases, and we're going back again. We're almost at pre-disaster right now again. We're almost at phase 1 again, because the fall now is bringing so many new challenges with the schools opening and more COVID numbers. Our numbers are increasing daily. So again, we don't know what we don't know. I think it's really, really scary. I'm really nervous for our residents. I'm so thankful to the city. I was able to hire another counselor in July because our numbers are so high. It's hard to keep up with demand. We've opened up our counseling program in order to be able to do counseling for all demographics, whereas in past years we were limited to age groups. So I think the more that we can, as a community, come together and kind of break down those borders and come up with community responses and work together for everybody, I think we're going to be more successful working together. Again, breaking down those barriers and boundaries. And one pool of money, again, that money that we got from the Edmonton Community Foundation, that's going to go a long, long ways. And that's funding that these organizations can't apply for anywhere. So it's unique funding. We have a tiny crisis fund. There's very little funding left at the city, But that money was, we were able to do things with that money you couldn't apply for it in any other way. There were no grants for. So for example, somebody fleeing a domestic violence home, and they need to get into a new housing, and they have no access to a bank account. Well, with the crisis fund, we were able to put up a damage deposit and get them into a house. So it's looking at how we even fund things differently at least in the next few months, 3 or 4 or 6 months or a year, because again, we don't know what we don't know. But I think we're going to see some really, really tough times. Mortgage deferrals are going to be up. Utility deferrals are going to be up. So the tough times are coming.
Connie, thank you for telling us about the breadth and scope of what the city is doing. I do wonder, however, do we have any formal or even informal links between the city and the school boards, the churches, the healthcare and social services system? Is there an umbrella group that's also looking at this? Because it goes beyond your services as well.
Yeah, thank you for that question. Absolutely. We are intimately involved with all of those. I've been meeting regularly with PCN. I met with the public school board yesterday. So absolutely, it's not just the social profits. It's not just the city. It's the entire community.
Well, is this you making outreaches, or is there an umbrella organization?
So it's both. That's as part of my work, that's what I do. But we also have a committee called SAM, and I know many of you have heard of it, the St. Albert Strategy and Mobilization Committee. And that is made up of RCMP and school boards and health and social services. So it's that umbrella for the community.
Sorry, what's the name of that organization?
It's called SAM. It's just a committee that we started years ago at the city, and it's called the St. Albert Strategy and Mobilization Committee.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for that. Other questions for Connie? Hearing none, I am going to say thank you again, Connie. And just let you know that as a thank you for your presentation at our meeting today, we will be making a donation in your name to the Rotary International Polio Plus program, a worldwide program focused on polio eradication. And we will get you a copy of this certificate. So thank you very much again, Connie.
Thank you very much. And we'll say goodbye to everybody.
Thanks, Connie.
So we have a couple of Paul Harris presentations this morning. James, I believe, is at Socrates.
Right. Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you.
Okay, good, good, good. Connie, thank you for your presentation today. It makes one think of all the things that are going on, and the thing that I did here is the unknown. And that is so true. We just don't know, but isn't that life? So doing as Rotarians what we're doing and changing the world through our gifts, through Rotary Foundation, and just being members for each other, being aware of the needs of others in our world. And there is an unknown, but the known is we can help each other, we can support each other. And that's the great work that Rotary does through the foundation, through our club, through our community, and through the world. And we're part of something bigger, something greater. So today it gives us some great pleasure to honor a couple of Rotarians, but I want to read a bit of things on the Paul Harris. The mission of Rotary Foundation is to support the efforts of Rotary International in the fulfillment of the object of Rotary. Rotary International's mission and the achievement of world understanding and peace through local, national, and international humanitarian, educational, and cultural programs. The programs of Rotary Foundation include an array of projects that save and invigorate the lives of people around the world and enhance international friendship. Foundation programs provide food, potable water, healthcare, immunizations, shelter, educational opportunities for millions of persons. Differentiating Rotary from many other organizations, these activities are funded, implemented, and managed by Rotarians and Rotary clubs around the globe. We have long recognized Rotarians who contribute to the Rotary Foundation. The aim of Rotary International, which receives and distributes funds and supports our causes of increasing world understanding and peace. We recognize them in many ways. Those who contribute a minimum of $100 US per year are recognized as sustaining members. In this club, we have 37 members. At such time as their contributes total $1,000, they are recognized as Paul Harris Fellows, an honorary of Rotary's founder. And we present them with certificates and a special pin and a medallion. Becoming a Paul Harris Fellow, however, is a milestone, not a destination. We ask those who become Paul Harris Fellows to continue supporting the Rotary Foundation. And we recognize them as multiple Paul Harris Fellows. As such time, they contribute an additional $1,000 to the Rotary Foundation. With each additional $1,000, they are presented with a pin and a stone, a sapphire ruby indicated the total level of their contributions in our club. In our club, we have 38 members who have been previously recognized for such contributions. At such time, their total contributions is $10,000. They are recognized as major donors, and we have 3 major donors in our club. This is an interesting fact. I can see Alan on the big screen, and he's probably the only one who can answer this. But Alan, what do you think our total giving of the St. Albert Rotary Club is to date?
I have absolutely no idea.
Okay, see, I'm putting you on the spot because you're on the big screen. I don't know why you're front and center of us here. So, but that's good. It's $350,000, guys. So be proud of our club. We've donated $350,000 to St. Albert Rotary Club. We have 10 members who are members of the Paul Harris Society. Paul Harris Society means they donate $1,000 per year. President Mark and his team have committed for us to raise $15,000. And here's a little shout out for us as a St. Albert Rotary Club. Last year, we raised $19,500. Give yourselves a hand, guys. That's great, $19,500. My goal here is foundation chair. This is new, so I'd like to have a 100% every Rotarian every year. So meaning that every member of our club has to give a minimum of $20. I'm really looking forward to that banner. I'd love to see that banner. I'd love to have that part of our club. So every Rotarian every year, a minimum of $20, please. My other goal is to double our benefactors from 6 to 12 and our bequest from 2 to 4. So we haven't had any new benefactors in a while. A benefactor is someone who donates in their will to the Rotary International, to the Rotary Foundation, $1,000. A bequest is $10,000. All right. Andre Charwa, are you there? Can you give me a big hello?
I'm here.
Hey, good to see you. Look at that. Did you go for a walk and a coffee out at the lake yet, or what's happening out there?
No, I just put on something decent and walked on my deck.
Good. You're good. You do have pants on though underneath that, correct?
Don't go there.
Maybe,
okay.
Maybe not.
Okay. All right. I'd like to now present. Today we have the privilege of recognizing 2 of our club members in support of the foundation. I'd like to call upon Andre Charwa and Doug Campbell, who is right in front of me. Doug and Andre. So virtual hug to all of us. So picture Andre standing up and Doug is here kind of standing up in front of me. Doug, the Rotary Foundation of Rotary International are reducing suffering, improving conditions, and providing educational opportunities for young people somewhere in the world. Your gifts are truly selfless actions and demonstrate your commitment to our common goals of a world understanding and peace. Therefore, on behalf of the President of Rotary International and the Chairman of the Trustee of Rotary Foundation, it gives me great pleasure to you, a multiple Paul Harris Fellow lapel pin, level 7, in appreciation of your generous contribution to the annual programs fund of Rotary, and on their behalf to extend our sincere thanks.
Ooh, 3D.
Andre, my friend, your contributions to the Rotary Foundation of Rotary International are reducing suffering, improving living conditions, and providing an educational opportunities for young people somewhere in the world. Your gifts are truly selfless actions and demonstrate your commitment to our common goals of world understanding and peace. Therefore, on behalf of the President of Rotary International and the Chairman of the Trustees of the Rotary Foundation, it gives me great pleasure to present to you a multiple Paul Harris Fellow lapel pin level 6 in appreciation of your generous contributions to the annual programs fund of Rotary, and on their behalf to extend our sincere thanks. Everyone. Andre, I will drop this off at your office.
Oh, sounds good. I'll accept that, share that with my wife, Lynn, who doesn't want to be on video.
Okay.
You're a good husband.
Could I ask a question of the foundation chair? You had indicated that every Rotarian every year, you're allowed a minimum of $20 US.
You know, it's actually 10, but I doubled it to 20. So Canadian 20 is good.
So we're good. Okay.
So we're good at 20. Yeah.
Good job.
Yes. Yeah. But thank you. And the sustaining member is $100 per person. And that's US. And thanks for asking that, Anita. And we have 37 members of sustaining members giving $100 US. And I'd love to see that right across the board as a total sustaining member. But
if I can make a comment on that, it's very easy. I usually just add it to my dues when I pay them every year, and you can. I think my name's on your sustaining list because I do pay the $100, but I have to add extra for the US.
Yes, and thank you. That's one way to do it. And another way is you just take it right off your. You can set it up for pad form every month. It comes off your visa.
Yeah, I don't.
On your visa. And that works really well. So if anyone's wondering, you can go onto rotary.org, set that up to come out of your account every month.
Yep. No, it's easy.
Okay. Very good. Thank you very much, James. Appreciate that. So we also presented a Paul Harris at our virtual gala. We did the presentation online, and Doug Campbell actually had an opportunity to get in touch with Bruce McPherson and do the presentation in person. So it was a pleasure for Doug. Bruce was surprised, as was his golfing buddies. So thank you very much for taking care of that, Doug. I'm also sad to share the news of the passing of Marla Gallant's mother, Clara. So Robert, please pass on our condolences to you, to your family, to Marla.
Thanks, Mark.
Some quick reports and announcements. Flag program is wrapped. I don't know if Dawn, you want to add anything to this? Last words?
Last words for 2020 are thank you everyone for jumping in there and supporting. Laszlo, I think, was amazing with collecting all the names and getting things all organized and getting those lists out. But everybody was a part of it, and it was amazing. And thank you so much. And I'll see you again in May. Put it on your calendar, and thank you again.
Awesome. Thank you, Dawn. And thanks, Robert, for continuing to inventory those flags for us. We're going to eventually take over your entire shop, so just prepare for that. Corn roast is September 13th. Matt, did you want to speak to this?
Sure thing. Yeah, we got Lions Park booked this Sunday, 4 to 7 p.m. Not corn roast this year. It's a picnic style theme. So bring your own meal, support your favorite restaurant. Come on down. There'll be hand sanitizer, a sign-in. We'll be socially distant, but it'll be a nice way to connect face to face. So look forward to seeing everybody there.
Thank you, Matt. We have a board meeting coming up with our district governor, Jim Ferguson, on the 17th at 5:30. And we have our Rotary Club Charter celebration. Hopefully you saw that invite. Laura, would you like to make any comments about this at this point?
Yeah, I can make a quick comment. First, I just want to say thanks so much for the support I've already received. I've already received lots of emails about wanting the Zoom link. So if you do want to join us on, September 17th, that is this Thursday at 7 p.m., either make sure that you're following the St. Albert Rotaract Facebook page. I just created an event in there where the Zoom link will be posted for anyone to use, or you can send an email to stalbertrotaract@gmail.com, and you'll get that link sent to your inbox directly. Thanks so much.
So excited. Thank you, Laura. Safe Car Rally, we're still looking for volunteers. Andre, did you want to pump this one up?
Yeah, sure, Mark. Basically just, looking for some volunteers, I guess, for our own Rotary booth that we're going to have, but we're also still looking for participants as well. So if people are interested, I did issue a challenge, which I'm going to have a special prize for the top Rotarian family. So I'd like to see a few more participants. This, as indicated earlier, is replacing our fundraising gala, because we do not have an opportunity to do a gala this year, and we're hoping to basically make our revenue through this car rally. So please come out and support us. Everything's available at stopabuse.ca in terms of registration forms. Thanks.
Great, thank you, Andre. Any other announcements this morning?
This is Doug from the restaurant.
Hello, Doug from the restaurant.
Hey, Doug from the restaurant. I just wanted to extend a thanks to the volunteers that helped with Tools for Schools. And for those who may not know, the club was put in $1,000, and we asked the community to match our donations. And I'm pleased to say that the community stepped up and matched up to about $4,650. So on Tuesday, Mark and Doug Webster will make a presentation to the United Way in support of Tools for Schools in the neighborhood of about $5,700. So well done to the members of our club, and a great thanks to the 12 volunteers who showed up on the Thursday. So thank you all.
Great, thank you very much for that, Doug, and thank you for your work on coordinating that.
I'm pleased to see Robert Gallant out.
Yes, we all are. The venerable. Next Friday, our guest speaker is District Governor Jim Ferguson. So we will have him for a board meeting on the Thursday, then the Charter Club celebration, then the breakfast meeting on the Friday. And he will be so cranked when he's done with us, let me tell you, because we are the club. Birthdays and anniversaries, Mr. Schroeder, Charlie, September 16th. So make sure you wish him not only happy birthday, but also a happy anniversary on the 13th. Charlie and Marilyn, how many years? 62. How do you, wow, incredible.
Do we have somebody to sing the song?
Happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy, there you go. Stacy and
Marilyn is a martyr.
Stacy and Sean Nicolishan, 9 years on the 14th. And Craig and Carol Mallon on the 16th, 31 years. Adrian and Denise Coletti, 25 years on the 16th.
Ooh.
And Date Joint Rotary on September 15th, Mr. Campbell, 40 years. Thank you so much for your service. And off to John and Mark.
Hi, everybody. It's Mark. John Saline or something? I'm not too sure. So it's just me today. You just get me, unfortunately. So, or fortunately, I don't know what it is. Maybe you're tired of John. I don't know. Good shout out to, we're going to do, sorry, trying to get my brain wrapped around it. We have our cards here. So we have 19 players for Chase the Ace. So I will have Doug pick a card. Oh, we have to pick a number. That's what it is. See, that's why I need John here. Sometimes I just don't know what I'm doing. Sometimes, maybe it's all the time. All right, Natalia, pick a number between 1 and 19. So we still have 19 players. No one new has come up.
16.
16. I had to do my number generator there. And we have Jackie, the big winner. Jackie Hansen, you still on the phone, on the line?
Jackie's there.
Yeah. All right, perfect. So in honor of you, we'll get Doug to pick a card because I can't do it over the internet. All right. So what's the card? What's the Chase the Ace? Which is the suit? Spades. Spades. Oh, so close. Oh,
come on.
Close. Ace.
Picked an ace, my God.
Yeah.
But the wrong suit.
The wrong suit. Yeah.
Trust me, I'm just gonna pull it for you.
Thanks a lot, Mark.
Sorry.
But you got an ace.
But yeah, you got an ace. You're really close. All right. Let's do some happy bucks around this beautiful day here in Edmonton. Anyone have anything to be thankful for or happy about?
Maddie was telling me that she is heading off to nursing school next week.
Nice. That's awesome. Good job.
Congratulations.
I don't want to. I'm too stressed.
You're on the phone. That's awesome. Good job. I think Doug has a happy buck.
So I have $20 for Happy Bucks to celebrate a number of things. One would be certainly all the volunteers that showed up for Tools for Schools and appreciated that. Happy Bucks for my Paul Harris, and Happy Bucks that a sad buck in there. They never found my stolen car, so I'll have to be figuring out what the hell I'm going to do now. So anyway, particularly thank you to all those volunteers. There you go, Mom.
He gave me the money. I'm going to have to sanitize it before we deposit it, but thank you, Doug. Okay.
I've got happy bucks because I did land a 7.5-foot sturgeon last weekend on the Fraser River. And that was probably the most exciting thing I've ever done in my life with my family. So I will give you 20 bucks in happy
20 bucks. That's awesome. That's a big fish.
Yeah, I got pictures to prove it.
Let's do it. Show us.
I don't know how to do that on here.
Bring your phone up, show it right up.
Okay, I will. It's coming up right now.
I thought you were talking about a sturgeon.
Here we are. I don't know.
Sturgeon River.
See that?
Oh my lord. That's the canoe.
No,
Mark, you make her. There you go.
Awesome.
Oh my God.
It's prehistoric.
Wow. Did it eat you?
No, because it has no teeth.
Right. That's a big fish. That's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, I will e-transfer Laszlo.
Okay, awesome.
Hey, Mark.
We got one thing. Yesterday we had the Gratitude Golf Tournament for the Sturgeon Hospital Foundation and the Community Foundation. And I forgot a shout out to Dave Pickering and to Laura Charwa, who both came out to volunteer for that event. It was greatly appreciated.
Mark, I have $20 in honor of the tremendous relationship I've had with my wife over the last 62 years.
You get a slow clap for that one, my friend. That is awesome. Good job. and someone should pay your wife $20. Oh, thank you. Good job. So we got like the crowd back here. There's only 4 of us men, so. Anyone else? Maybe it just should be me because like we're just rolling in the happy bucks here today.
John's actually listening to you in the boat, so just so you know.
Oh, I know. I saw them. Any fines? Anyone? I do have one fine.
I've got a fine, actually. I have a fine.
Oh.
When I'm not in the room and taking all those shots at me, that's $5 to Mark. I'm just saying.
So easy. But I do have a fine for my hecklers last night when I'm driving down this beautiful street that had all these Canada flags. I was picking them up, and I have Mr. Dooley, and I can't see him from far away, heckling me as I'm taking up the sign. So, David, that is $5 for you.
And I'd just like to say, Mark, how do you even drive that van full of those flags when you say to me, I can't even see, let alone hear it? And here you are driving down my street at night. We have children everywhere, buddy.
I think we need to find him an extra $5 because I had to tell him to go help you.
That's true. Thank you. He was just watching me pick up all those flags.
Oh, rude.
Thank you, Karina. I like you. Come more often. I also have a happy buck. My father turned 80 on Monday, so we're headed down to Calgary to celebrate with all the family and all that. So that's give $5 for his long life and all that fun stuff. So that's another happy buck there. Anyone else finds their happy bucks? Okay, I see nothing. So Mark, back to you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Thanks for chiming in there, John. Keep them on track. So please remember, we are on social media, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. And if you want to see a recording of these meetings, go to our YouTube channel. Thank you to everyone, Connie, who's left, guest speaker, Jackie for the inspirational moments, everyone for being so amazing, the Dooleys for bringing the entire roadshow. Thank you. And please join me for the 4-way test of the things we think,
say, and do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships?
Will it be beneficial to all concerned? And will it be fun?
Will it be fun? Have a great week.
Enjoy your day and your weekend.
Bye.
Bye for now.